How are you?
I'm good.
Big 12 Defensive Player of the Week. What's that like for you? What does that mean?
Man, it's a huge honor. It feels great. I feel like it's just a result of how hard our defense played on Saturday. Gave me the opportunity to get back there, get those sacks at the end of the game.
What happened on? I was just gonna say, what happened on those 2 sacks? Was there anything different scheme-wise, or was it just you beat your guy?
Yeah, I mean, for one, we knew it was going to be a pass situation. They needed to get down the field, so they just sent us out there in the mindset of go get after the quarterback, and on the back end they had good coverage, so it gave us the time to get home.
Did you feel like those were maybe, a reward for all of the hard work and the transfer and everything kind of coming together in those moments?
For sure, yeah. It felt like, the end of that game felt like almost like Harvard Yale, and that's at the end of the season. So like to win that type of rivalry game felt huge, but it's also the beginning of the season, so we got a lot left to do, a lot left to get better at. So
you might be the first person in history to compare that to Harvard Yale.
Yeah, that's all I have to compare it to. But yeah, that's it's definitely a lot crazier of an environment. But yeah.
That last series, how much of that is just an endurance test? Because you guys are tired, their offensive line tired. Is it just winning that
for sure
battle there?
Yeah, I think it has a lot to do with our conditioning. And, we trained really hard over summer and during the spring to build that endurance. We had a few practices out. It was like 100 degrees. So I feel like we were ready for that moment.
What was your process like of getting recruited from Yale to come down to State?
Yeah, out of the portal?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was so I got hit up by I think Coach Mouse actually was the first guy I talked to. Who was an offensive coordinator, so that's a little interesting. But he told me that they were interested and they wanted to see what kind of person I am, and eventually they got me over on a visit and extended an offer, and I just felt like everything here checked my boxes, what I was looking for. And shortly after I made the decision to come in.
You're the second player in a row. Last year they brought in an offensive lineman from Princeton to come to an Ivy League school and have an immediate impact. Do you see a correlation there, just in terms of Ivy League football and maybe Iowa State? What makes that easy?
Yeah, I feel like Ivy League football is definitely slept on. It's a lot of good players in those conferences and on those teams. And at the same time, with their playing with Jalen Travis, I felt like they had a proven. What would you call it? They had what they've done with Jalen Travis is exactly what I was trying to do. So I feel like they had almost a cheat sheet for okay, we can have meetings with him over spring while he's still getting his degree, install, playbooks, whatever, have him talk to strength coach, nutritionist. So I feel like that was huge. I was like, okay, they know exactly, they have a plan for me. You know what I'm saying? They have a proven plan. So.
Did you talk to Jalen at all?
Yeah, I spoke to him before committing, just to see what, on his point of view, how it was, and he had nothing but good things to say, and I feel like it just helped me transition smoother, just to know this guy was in the same situation as me and was able to make an impact here, and obviously now he's in the NFL, and that's amazing. So
what has the process been like for you? How would you describe it to do what he did, I guess, in that same plan?
Yeah. Throughout that spring, is that what you're saying?
Sure.
Yeah.
Even up until today.
Yeah, I feel like it's been awesome. This has always been my dream to be at this level. So I feel like it's just been so smooth. There's been so many resources here that I feel like there's no excuses that I could have on my end to not perform. So I feel like I'm a pro already. With all the setup they have here.
Not that you probably want to reflect 3 games into the season, but have you thought about just what a whirlwind's been? You get your Ivy League degree, you come here, figure things out, get 2 sacks to seal the game in a big rivalry game you probably didn't know anything about a couple of years ago, and here you are, just building with all that in your review in the last handful of months.
Yeah, I think Saturday was a good day to look on that and feel proud on what I've done. But at the same time, I try and flush all that. Still got a long season left, and 1 week at a time, 1 day at a time is how I try to think about things.
at Yale, you're a political science major. Just have you thought about when the time comes, is that something you want to get into post-football? And what are you studying here? Just out of curiosity.
Yes, sir. I'm getting a graduate certificate with the Entrepreneurship and Innovation Program. So I feel like a big thing, they talked about on my visit was Coach Campbell was like, listen, man, like don't waste, you can still walk away here with something, don't come here and just take some random like easy classes. Like I want what's best for you. And that was also huge because I feel like Campbell wants what's best for me, not just what's best for like what I can do for the team, So I feel like it goes both ways there. And yeah, I feel like I've always wanted to get in some type of business, so I feel this can add that to my background, to the political science degree. I feel like that opens a lot of doors, but getting this certificate in business will be nice.
So no Senator Tamatoa McDonough in the future?
We'll see. I'm not 100% sure what I want to do after football, but I'm open to a lot of things.
Thank you.
Do you have a number in mind for sacks this year that you would like to hit?
Not a specific number. I'm really shooting for the Big 12 title, but whatever I can do for this defense and this team to be successful is my priority.
Did you kind of feel maybe that a breakout game was bound to happen, eventually?
I always feel like I need to have that type of game, but I just try and have my process be the same for each game, and I didn't necessarily think like this was, the one I was gonna break out, and I necessarily don't think it has been. I feel like I still have a lot of growth to do as a player.
How do you prep yourself for a game? I mean, do you get yourself jacked up? Do you try to keep yourself calmed down?